It's been 11 years, and I wanted to go ahead and give a tank update as this tank will be coming down in the next few months. We are building out a 750 gallon aquarium that's being built as we speak. We are working on an outside fish room. It's about 30 feet long by 6 feet deep, and we are going to no longer have a tank in the basement. Kind of give you an update. So this tank used to be inside the basement area. Right now, this tank is sitting outside in our basement area. The tank used to be inside over there, and it is outside. What had happened was I had purchased a 750 gallon bow front tank. Beautiful tank. It was in a house in Paradise Valley, custom built tank. And the plan was to put that tank upstairs in my main living room area. Well, my wife decided that the wall that tank was going to go on, she wants to go ahead and put another sliding glass door up there, like a 12-foot floating door. So I said, okay, well, now I need to put that tank that I purchased downstairs. And the only space that we have is to drop the tank down from there. And if you guys look back on our videos, when we were doing the build out on this tank, we had to drop the tank down with a lift system down in there, and we put it all inside the basement area. Well, the plan was to bring that new tank down here, and we got this tank and we moved it out to the patio area, and we ended up having to do a whole bigger chiller system. That it was our sump system there. And we started to search around to find a company to get some equipment to lower the tank down here, and it wasn't going to happen. The tank that I purchased was 10 feet long. It's 4 feet tall, 3 feet in the center of the bow and 18 inches on the side. And that was not going to work. So we came up with a whole nother plan, and we are building, which you're going to start seeing some build videos, a 750 gallon, and it is going to go in our dining room area. And we had to run all new piping out through the walls underneath our whole back patio to the outside fish room that's being built. And so this tank here, like I said, it's going to be going away. But what made us move to go ahead and do that was, you see this equipment right here. Well, after we moved this tank outside, it had been outside for almost a year, and we came out and we noticed we had water on the floor down there. And if you see back here, it's this huge overflow that goes, it's a coast-to-coast overflow that we had built into the tank that goes all the way across the tank. Well, on the back side of the overflow there, we got a crack, and it's still cracked there, and was leaking slowly. So we ended up kind of more of an emergency. We put a board back there. We got 2 of these vice grips, and we basically have it squeezed together, and with the hopes that this thing could bust at any time, with the hopes that it wouldn't bust, but it could bust at any time. So, but by doing that, slowly over the next couple of weeks, the leaking stopped. There's not much pressure back there because we do have that coast-to-coast overflow. So it's really just about 2 inches of water on the other side of the overflow. So that was a godsend that did not crack lower than the bottom of the coast-to-coast overflow center. So we have this tank outside. We're doing a build out on the other tank. And obviously, while we moved the tank outside, we did lose some fish. I was, was kind of bummed. Anytime you take down a tank, even though we did it all within a day, we put them in buckets, we still ran into some of the fish that got stressed out. I lost my yellow tang. I lost a couple other tangs. It was just no fun. So while we are getting everything together for the new tank, if you can see, I have a tank divider here. Well, last night I was able to pick up these 3 fish, Achilles, yellow, and a gem tang. And so I had Manny with Reef Gardens. He's awesome at building tops, these tops for tanks right here. So I had him build the custom one to divide my tank, because my purple tang there tends to get very aggressive. My Sohal tang, when there's any new inhabitants. So we ended up doing this, and this is the first day they're in here. They're doing great. So they have basically a 3-foot section of the 10-foot tank here, and it's 2 feet deep and 2 feet tall. So they're eating, they're all doing great. The Achilles came from one reefer here in Phoenix, and the gem and yellow tang came from another tank teardown in the Phoenix area as well. So I've added a couple of fish. I went ahead and picked up these 3 pyramids here. I got them from the local fish store, and I dumped them straight into the tank. It was Aquarium Arts in Mesa, and I did the same thing with the copper man. I didn't do any quarantine. I just dropped them in the tank. My tank does have ick, so at that point, introducing ick has been in my tank now for pretty much since the beginning. And I try to keep my fish super healthy. As you can see, how fat these fish are. They eat a lot. That's one of the reasons why we really don't have much for corals in here. And I kind of went through a part for the last couple of years where you're just kind of keeping the tank up and going. But I've been busy with work and everything, and it's basically almost like a Fowler tank if you look at it. But we went ahead and I got some new Radion lights and everything in here when I was going to try to bring this one back to life. But now we're going to be building out the new system, which is going to be amazing. It's going to be 40 inches deep. It's going to be 44 inches tall and 10 feet on the front panel. And because of the way the actual dining room is set up, the back panel is only going to be 8 feet, front panel is going to be 10, and it's going to be on the right side. It's going to be cut at a diagonal to fit to go along with the wall over there. But overall, I'm not sure. The black tang was a new addition about a year and a half ago. The blonde Naso tang, which is doing amazing as well, I got that probably about 2 years ago. We still have the original, clownfish in there. My 2 hippo tangs that I got, they were probably about 1 inch each. I bought them when I first got the tank. They've been going pretty strong. I noticed my Sohal lately has been flashing on the bottom, so we are going to get the UV sterilizer back up and going here. Actually, that's going to be coming online tonight, especially now since we got the Achilles in here. We want to make sure we keep, if anything, try to keep the ick at bay as much as possible. But overall, it's the fish are super healthy and fat. It's a fire angel there. I also picked up at the same time that I picked up the trio of the pyramids. I got 7 chromis in here. All 7 lasted. I just dumped those in a tank as well. Bought 7, and they've been in there doing great. Like I said, the copper band, this tank being that the tank is 11 years old, there's a lot of good stuff in there in the rocks for him to be picking at. And yeah, so this is the update. I'm really excited about the new build that we're doing. And one of the biggest things that's exciting to me is it's going to be on the main floor of the house. We have a house that has a basement, and that was the only place that we can actually put this aquarium in our home. And it was kind of a bummer because, you know, I would love to come down and see it, but it's different when the tank is in your main living area and you are able to see the tank every day, walking, you know, into the house, walking around the house versus it being downstairs. I mean, I even went to an extent where I bought a really high quality video camera and I was filming a live stream that broadcast out to a second TV in my living room so I could actually watch my fish and see them from the main living room area. But yeah, since us putting the tank outside, you know, it's definitely gone through its ups and downs. But you know, but overall, like I said, the biggest thing is the fish are super healthy. You know, I mean, this Solhao Tang was one of the early ones that I got in here. He's 11 years old now, and you know, the hippo tangs are the original ones in there. The clownfish are the original ones. The Desert Genius and the purple tang are also the originals that were in here. And those are pretty much the originals that are still here. And so hopefully, you know, by buying this Achilles, it's been in a local tank for 1.5 years, and it's eating and doing great. So the plan is we're going to be definitely introducing a lot more fish into the new build. I really like having a trio of fishes with the 3 pyramids, and so we're going to probably be doing that with some of the tangs. I'm going to probably end up going with a trio of yellow tangs in there. Possibly, I'll probably stick with the gem. I'm not sure if I'd bring another gem or 2 in there, but if I'm going to try to do sets of 3 on some of the fish. Obviously, some that you can't do. But yeah, overall, it's been a pretty great experience the last 11 years. I'm excited and kind of getting the itch to really get back into the reefing and the aquarium. And the plan is on the new build, being that it's, you know, it's 4 feet deep, I want to do some really nice custom rock work. I have a company called, I think it's Reefscapes. They're I think out of California or the Midwest, and I've already contacted them. They're going to be doing all custom rock work for me, so it's going to be really neat. And being it's going to be such a deep tank, we're going to be having a lot more bridges in the tank. So the corals are going to be more off the ground. Right now, this tank is pretty much a bare bottom. When we moved it outside, we took out all the sand. And but no, it's been a great experience, and this is my 11-year update on the tank, and fingers crossed we don't have any other issues with the crack on the back side of the tank, and we can get this, you know, it's going to probably take minimum 4 to 6 months to get the other build completed, and I will be posting some videos of the fish room as well. In fact, actually, you know what I'll do is I'm going to go out there right now and I will show you what the fish room is looking like that is being built here. I know a lot of people like to have behind the scenes of what's happening, and so just to kind of give you a little bit of an idea, this right here was the back patio area. In fact, you can see it's still torn up there a little bit. So we have all the piping is going to go up into the wall there, and it's going to be in that dining room area is where the aquarium is. I'll show you that in a little bit. But all these pipes, all these pavers had to get pulled up. We were out of town when my maintenance guy, Mike, who's been doing an amazing job building everything, he is the one who ran all the pipes underneath here. Here's a really quick view of our backyard. And that's where the basement is, right down there. And the original tank was going to be where those 3 doors are on the right wall there. But we are going to be putting a big open sliding wall across there. It's going to be 2 sliding like walls that will open up into the patio area. But let me take you over to where the fish room that is currently being built is. So all the pipes came underneath here. They came, we had to tear all this stuff up. And so this is the new fish room. And this was originally built as a storage room. So we had to tear everything up here and all that stuff. But I'll show you what is going on in here. Let me see if I can kind of back it out a little bit. All right, I'm going to take this off real quick since we're outside. Don't need that for lighting. So what the plan is, we went ahead, if you see this is a wall, we dug down a little bit on the back side of the retaining wall here. And so underneath here, we have, it's all concrete, but we went ahead and did a lot of custom iron work. So these things come up. So basically the plumbing comes underneath here. It goes right up into here, and you'll see the pipes are right there. So what the plan is, right here is going to be, right in front of us is going to be the sump. It's going to be 6 feet wide, 30 inches tall, by 30 inches deep. And then on top of this, we built this out where this is going to be a refugium. It's going to be a little bit lower than a normal refugium. I think it's only going to be about 18, 20 inches tall by 6 feet. On the left here, we got a really nice, I think it's MCR skimmer that's going to be going there. And in that corner right there, we're going to have a 30 inch by 30 inch by 30 inch. It's going to be a tank that we're going to be used for the ozonator, the ozone system. And that's going to flow into here. But let me show you what, let me get the lights on in here. Okay, so what the plan is, actually that's our chiller that we already purchased. I think it's a Teco chiller and heater. And we just built this iron stand that the refrigerator right there is going to go on top of. And we're still doing the drywall work. This should be done in the next couple days. And just to the right of this refrigerator is going to be our sink right here. So the sink is going to go next to that. And then right next to the sink is going to be our frag tank. And the plan is, after the frag tank here, we're going to do a quarantine system. And then over there, we dug down deeper, all the way down to the flooring, filled it in with concrete. And we have, it's going to be basically our saltwater mixing system. We have a 165-gallon tank, and then we're going to have a 300-gallon tank, which is sitting outside. And so we ran all dedicated power here. Every single outlet that you see on this wall is on a separate 20-amp circuit going all the way down. And we just put in the AC unit. It's a AC and heater unit in there. So this is all going to be a temperature-controlled room. Especially here in the summer, it gets very hot, so we'll be able to keep the room temperature, the same temperature all the way through year round. So that's going to be nice. We're paneling the walls. We're going to basically seal this off and make it completely sealed tight, but we'll have access to it from 3 different doors. We did outlets on this wall, and as of right now, these doors open up, but we might end up shutting this off and making this a panel for the electronics. But yeah, so this is what we got going on in the fish room here. So we're pretty excited about it. And yeah, that's where the AC unit is, right over there. That's the 300-gallon tank, the water tank. We have one, and we have all the other ones downstairs. And then let me go ahead and take you inside and show you where the actual tank is going. So originally, we never really thought we could do a tank over there because I knew it was just going to be so much work to get all the piping underneath. But I'll show you really quick the piping, how it is. So there, the piping. So it's going to go into that wall right there. And then, let's see if this door is unlocked. Hopefully it is. Yes, it is. Okay. So The tank is going to be going on that wall right there. You can see how the wall has an angle on it. So it's gonna be kind of nice because when you come in the front door, you'll be able to walk in and you will see right where that piece of furniture is where the tank's gonna go. And I have it marked on the ground here. On the floor, let me turn the lights up a little bit more here. So basically the tank, you see the main blue line, that is the actual tank. The little extra blue tape there is where the shit, like the little shelving unit that's going to kind of go around the tank. But the tank is going to be 42 inches deep, and this is going to be 3-foot stand. So this is actually 3 feet. So the tank is going to be from here to right up to there where that blue line is what the tank is. And then above that, we're going to do all custom cabinetry work. But the tank is going to go all the way along here to this curved wall. And then it will go back at that angle there. And we're going to do custom cabinetry work, so you won't even see this wall. It's going to be all cabinet over there. So the other thing that we have to do is my wife's not too happy, but we have to move the chandelier. And the chandelier is going to be moved over probably about 2 feet. So when going into this room, you'll be able to, see the tank. It's going to be, every morning. This is my little coffee bar area right here. So when I'm making coffee, I'll be able to have a great side angle view of the tank here on the long side of it. So that's the reason why we went a little bit deeper on the tank. But yeah, this is gonna be the main viewing area. And so in this room, you'll be able to have a great view of the tank. And when I come walking out of the master bedroom, I walk down here, I'll see the tank. So throughout the day, we will be able to see the tank and get to enjoy it a lot more instead of being down in the basement. So anyway, it's pretty exciting. I will be getting some more videos out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the tank update. It's sad, it's been 11 years, but I'm so excited about moving on to this new tank and build. It's gonna be a much larger tank for the fish. I believe it's gonna be total about 750 gallons. With the sump and everything, we're gonna be definitely 1,000 to 1,200 gallons with everything out there with all the water volume. All right, hope you enjoyed it. Take care, bye.